I mean, look at the cover. The cute little boys are just, ah! Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey, and we're about to get very, very nerdy with a tag. So today, as I'm sure you could tell from the title of this video, we are doing the meme tag. I was tagged by Dora from Confessing My Reads. So Dora, thank you so much for tagging me. I'm really excited to do this tag. So I will leave her channel down below. If you want to check her out, you should. She's awesome. So now that I've done copious amounts of thinking, let's just get right into my thoughts. I don't really know if there is a rule about this, but I personally didn't want to double up on any of these. So every single question is a different book, even though some of these could actually fulfill 2 different questions, but I went with 1 book per question. So here we go. The first one is Crying Kim, and that is a book that made you cry. First off, I'm an emotional person. I cry for literally no reason. I'm not even kidding you. I cried at a puppy commercial one time. It happens. So saying I cried at something, it's not saying a lot because it happens more often than not. But I decided to go with a book that would kind of count as a guilty pleasure book, and that is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. This book, I had so many tears. It's just one of those stories that I think breaks me. I'm okay with it being broken, but it just broke. And so out of all the books, like a lot of books, I cry at like really stupid things, but this one I felt like had a legitimate reason. So this is my answer. I cried at the end, and it was a hot mess. This is the book that I read freshman year, and it was like a Saturday and I didn't have anything to do, and so I was like, I've got like 100 pages left. I'm just gonna finish it. And it was 2 a.m. and the way that my roommate and I's beds were set up, if she sat up in hers, she was looking straight at me. So she woke up at 3 a.m. and looked over, and I was just like sobbing. She realized what was happening and just let it happen and like rolled over, and I appreciate her for that. But yeah, that is that totally happened. So there was witnesses to the crying in this book. The next question is The Salt Bay, and it's a book that you just wanted a little bit more from, and so I chose The Witch's Daughter by Paula Braxton. I've talked about this a few times. I'm pretty sure I read this in February. We're gonna go with that. I did listen to it on audiobook, and that's probably the only reason I got through it, because it just, like, there were parts of this that were okay and I was intrigued by, but then there were parts that I didn't care. Like, I cared about our main character, and that was probably about it. The way it was told, the way it was laid out was really, really interesting, but there was just something missing with the story that just made it, I don't know, meh, like it was alright. But I don't know what it is that it needs. But it needs something more. It wasn't great, at least in my opinion. It was aight. So the next one is Guy Thinking, and it is a book that made you think, and so for this one, I chose Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. There is a part in the middle of this book that I talked about it a little bit in my How I Write Books video, but it's really hard to talk about without spoiling it. But something happens in the middle of this book that is just really profound, and it kind of sets off the second half of the book for the AI character in this, Aiden, and it's just the pictures in the book that come after that situation. I had to physically put the book down for a couple days and just step away. I don't know why it affected me so much, but I just needed to like think about what happened and then move on and come back and we would be fine. But yeah, if you've read this book, you know what I'm talking about, but it's just, it was a lot, and I just needed some time to absorb what happened, and then we were fine. The next book is the Confused Guy book, and that is one that you don't really understand the hype, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. Also, if you're my roommate, stop watching because you're gonna hate me after this. It is A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle. I don't know if it's because I read it last month and not when I was younger. This would be like a very like 100% 3-star read where it was meh. Like, it didn't really matter what happened to me, I guess. It was just really in the middle. It was alright. I didn't love it, and I really wanted to love it because my roommate loves it so much. So maybe that's what psyched me out, was that like the hype got to me. And if you love it, that's awesome. I'm so happy you love this book. So the next book is The Evil Patricks, and that is your guilty pleasure read. You cannot laugh at me because it is the definition of a romance book, but that's fine. And it is The Heir by Joanna Lindsay. It's about a girl in England, and she falls in love with a Scottish dude, okay? I love both of those areas of the country. So I was definitely, I really did like this book. It's super, super cheesy. It is so romantic, like that whatever you can possibly think of as your stereotypical romantic book, that is what's happening in this. And I just loved it. I loved all of it. And so this is my guilty pleasure read. And I am owning it. The next one is the Meryl Streep, I can speak. Meryl Streep one, and that is the book that you're always hyping up. So the one that I want to show you looks like this, but you can't really see it because the cover is not existent because I got it for class and it doesn't exist. So I'm going to show you the companion to it, and that is the Story of Wonder. These are the Augie and Me 3 stories, but it actually has a nice cover, so we're going to go and hold this one up instead. But it is the Story of Wonder that was recently turned into a movie. I freaking love this story so much. It's just an amazing story about this kid, and he just like goes through so much, but at the same time he's like super strong and, you know, gets through it. And it's an amazing story, and I think everyone should read it. One thing that I really loved about the Story of Wonder, and in these as well, is that it's told from multiple POVs. So you get Augie and his friends, who are all about 10 years old, so they're super young. And then you get, you know, the sister who's in high school, and the boyfriend of the sister who's also in high school. And so not only does the author have all these different points of views, but he, you know, has to have characters and specific ways of talking for each person, and one that correlates with how old they are. The author has to capture all of these people but keep the story straight, and it was just really amazing because I honestly believed I was reading the story of a 10-year-old, and the next thing I knew I was in the mind of a high schooler. And so it was very interesting the way it was written. But it's an amazing book, and please read it. If you haven't read it, you can get through it so fast, and it's so good. I love it so much. The next picture is the Successful Baby Meme, and that's just a book that you felt very accomplished reading. It's really hard because lately I've been feeling pretty accomplished with a lot of the books that I've been reading because I've had them on my shelves for a while, but the more I thought about it, the more one stuck out in my mind, and that is Wicked by Gregory B. Maguire. I read this in high school, and it took me months and months to get through. I think it's because the material is so political and so complex that, you know, my little, 16-year-old mind didn't really understand what was happening, and I still got through it, and I still was confused half the time. So this definitely deserves a reread now that I'm older and probably can understand it. But it took me so long to get through, at the point that my friend, I have a friend who calls me Wicked. That's my nickname for him, because I had this book in my hands. If you looked over at me, if I wasn't walking or doing schoolwork, this book was probably out and I was trying to get through it. I probably got through a couple pages a day. It was ridiculous. But when it was done, I was like, yes, I have completed the thing. And I felt so accomplished because it took me so long to get through this. So this is the accomplished read that I'm going with today. So the next one is the Pennywise meme, and that's just a book that basically kind of let you down. And that one for me is The Book Thief by Marcus Cusack. I don't know if it's because I had it on my shelf for so long. I don't know if it's because I listened to the audiobook more than I actually read it, because when I do that, I listen to the audiobook and I also read the book at the same time. I don't know if it's because it was set in Nazi Germany, and that's not a particular time period that I, enjoy reading about. I don't know what it was about this book. It was good, and it definitely had a very strong ending that definitely gave me some strong feelings. This is one that also kind of made me cry at the end. So there's that, but I don't know, most of the book, 90% of the book, I was like, okay, cool. I feel bad because it's about a tragic time, and that's something that everyone should learn about, but I don't know what it was about this book. It was alright. It was an okay read. The next one is an audiobook that you particularly enjoyed listening to, and for me it's the story. I listened for the story. I'd never really listened for the narrator. With one book in mind, that is the exception. I don't have the physical book because my roommate is borrowing it, so I'm just going to hold up the jacket, and that is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This guy's voice is butter. I want to listen to it again just so I can go back to, if you have not listened to this, listen to it. I've heard that he is the actor who plays Tom Riddle in the second Harry Potter movie, the one about the Chamber of Secrets. It's that guy. So Harry Potter, yes please, but his voice is amazing, and He has such a funny way of reading that it makes you, like, brings the characters to life. It makes Monty this very, like, funny guy, which he's supposed to be. That's the way he's written. He's very, like, snarky and has comebacks. And it's just, I love the way he reads Monty. I love his voice. I just love that he was in Harry Potter. Maybe I'm biased because he's in Harry Potter. I don't care. His voice is butter and I love it, and I will listen to it 24/7 if I could, because it's good. Y'all, it's good. The next one is The Distracted Guy, and that has two parts of the question. And the first one is a book that's been on your list forever that you just haven't been able to get to. And the second one is a newer release that you just are dying to get to and is distracting you from possibly reading some of the newer ones. So I'm kind of cheating because I haven't technically started the first part of this, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. And that is Three Dark Hounds by Kendra Blake. I have started this. I'm in like chapter 4 or something, but I'm finding it really hard to get through, and I don't think it's the story. I think it's because, like, it's been super hyped in my mind, and so, like, it's there and I'm enjoying what I'm reading. It's just taking me forever to get through. Like, do you ever have those books that you're super excited to read and you finally get your hands on it and you're reading it and it's good, but you can't, like, bring yourself back to it? So, like, when you're reading it, you're enjoying it, but when you're not reading it, you're not even thinking about it. For the second part of this question is one that I actually just bought, like, last week, and I made the mistake of, the first chapter was like 3 pages long, and I was like, well, I'm curious to see what it's like and what her style is like, so I started reading it, and then I had to physically tell myself to put it down because I had so many other things that I needed to be reading right now. But all I want to do is read this book, and that is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. It's been compared to Harry Potter, which, yes, all the time, and there's supposed to be, like, a boy-boy romance, and I'm all about that, and so it screams my name. And the chapters are super short, and it has to do with magic, and it's taking everything in me not to just, like, pick this up and do nothing else but read this, because all I want to do is read this. So those are my answers to the Distracted Guy meme question? Sure, we're gonna go with that. The next question is the Cash Me Outside meme, and that is a book that tried to be something it wasn't. And I read this one a while ago from the library, so I don't have a copy, so I'll, like, throw a picture up here. And that is The Expressologist. I did a book review of this one, and I don't remember who it's by, so her name will be up there somewhere. But really, it was like 100 pages. It was super short. It was like she tried to mash, like, a bunch of different tropes in one. It was just a lot at once. And so she's trying to make this book fit, like, all of these things, and it just didn't work. And she needs to, like, calm down and take a breath. It was okay. It was okay. And it tried really hard. It also failed really hard, in my personal opinion. So the next one is the dog on fire emoji, which I use literally daily. And it's all the books that you have on your shelf that you haven't read. Now I have to go count these things. I am ashamed of myself. I have 157 books I haven't read. In my defense, there are poetry books on the shelf that I don't know when I'm going to get to. There are books on the shelf that I've had for years and I know I want to read at some point, but I don't know when I'm going to get to them. And then there are books on the shelves that I don't think I'm ever going to read and I just really wanted to own. Because I'm that person. We're just going to, like, accept that and move on. The last question is a bonus question or one that you would like to add. And so I want to add, I don't even know what you would call this. It's a meme that I found earlier in the week, and I feel like it describes me. I'm gonna call it the impaled one, and it's just a book or book series or whatever that I just like took your heart in your chest. Okay, you took the heart and it took it out and it squeezed it and it killed you. Like, you're just dead because of everything that happened, whether it was good or bad or whatever. You just died. And so I feel like this is no surprise. It is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. Because, like, I'm broken. And there are some people in this book who are not alive right now. And I am not okay with it. Like, it still haunts me sometimes. And it's like, I have no words. I literally felt like that emoji when I was reading this. So I'm gonna go with this book. And yeah, I'm a broken human being. And it is fine. I have come to the end of this tag. Thank you so much, Dora, again for tagging me. And I will link everyone's channels down below, but I tag A Literary Life, Rapacious Reads, and Yanis Reads. So if y'all have not done this tag, and I apologize if you've already done this and you're tagged, but have fun, do it. Use the bonus if you want. I mean, you do whatever you want. But have fun, because these questions are significantly harder than you would think. At least for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already part of this awesome family we've got going on here. Did you agree with any of my books? Did you like, dislike, feel meh about any of the ones that I have mentioned in this video? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in a few days. Bye!